home or on the road, game day is a journey. Whether through Mile High or deep into the black hole,
10-5, touchdown! Down he goes!
it always culminates here. This is Chiefs Rewind.
So back here in the Metroplex, the Chiefs lose 28-17 to the Cowboys, now 6-3 going to the bye. I'm Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs, along with Chiefs reporter B.J. Kissel. B.J., it was right there. The Chiefs had 14 straight points, including that awesome play at the end of the second quarter. Right. What happened?
It was a slow start. You saw them get down 14-3, and you saw a huge play at the end of the first half. You were hoping that that was the sign of good things to come. And they get the ball to start the second half, drive down, beautiful drive, get the touchdown, take the lead, you're feeling good. And then the Cowboys did what good teams do, and they answered back with a couple of long touchdown drives of their own, 12 plays, 75 yards, 13 plays, 87 yards to answer back, give themselves a lead, and the Chiefs didn't quite have enough punches to get themselves back into this one.
Yeah, and we know about Elliott. He was strong in this game. In the third quarter, he kind of took over there for a drive, and Prescott was great. But it was Williams who had a near-career day. Yeah,
it was. And for so much that was made of the Chiefs' rush defense going into this game, and Elliott made plays, the Chiefs still held him to 3.4 yards per carry. He wasn't the reason that they won this game. It was Dak Prescott making plays. It was Terrence Williams finding the open spots in the Chiefs defense, picking up those chunk plays. Every big touchdown drive the Cowboys had, Terrence Williams had a chunk play on that drive.
It feels like the defense is fighting confidence a little bit. I mean, there was a 3rd and 15 they allowed for 21 to Des Bryant. Then there was a 3rd and 9 defensive pass interference on Nelson. What about this team fighting defensive confidence?
That was hard. And that drive you're talking about, they were backed up in their own side of the field, and that ended up being probably the biggest turning point in the game was that drive. But we saw the defense make flash plays in this game. We saw some of the defensive linemen. We saw Raheem Nunez-Roches get in the backfield. Saw Chris Jones get in the backfield a few times. So we know it's there. It's just about being consistent. They weren't quite consistent enough to make plays in this game to win the game.
Yeah, and BJ, there's no panic on this team. Frustration with this loss, but no panic. You're going to hear from Charkandrick West and Tyreek Hill later in the show. But now let's go back to the studio. Here's Neil Jones and former Chief Danon Hughes.
Thanks, gentlemen, and welcome to the 65 Toss Power Trap Studio. And not a lot of highlights, the kind of highlights we're used to from this Chiefs offense, but there were some highlights. Let's take a look. It happened down in what they call Jerry's World, named after Cowboy owner Jerry Jones. Chiefs are stacking the line of scrimmage so the Cowboys start throwing it. Dak Prescott finds Des Bryant for 17. Then Prescott is going to hit tight end Jason Witten for 10 more yards and another first down. And Dana, this play is a killer. Prescott to Terrence Williams, it adds up to 27 yards.
Yeah, you see the DB loses his footing, and Terrence Williams did an outstanding job in the first half of this game. He was a receiver, had over 100 yards receiving in the first half, Neil.
And that capped the drive there that gives them a 7-0 lead. Chiefs have been stonewalled until Alex Smith hits Travis Kelce off play action for 22. That seems to get the offense going.
Absolutely. Alex Smith did a nice job at times carving up the zone defense for the Cowboys. You can see when there's protection and he has time to make plays downfield, guess what? We get positive yardage and move the chains.
But after 2 straight false starts, Kansas City facing 3rd and 19. Smith hits Charkandrick West for 7. That helped set up a Harrison Butker field goal in a 7-3 ball game. Chiefs are aggressive towards the end of the half. Smith to DeAnthony Thomas for 22 yards. They called him down there, followed by an incompletion, though, so the Chiefs are going to have to punt it away. It looks like the Chiefs defense has got him stopped. There we go. Incomplete pass there. So the Chiefs have to punt it away. It looks like the Chiefs defense comes up with a big stop, though. Look at Chris Jones and Frank Zombo get after the quarterback.
Well, this is a nice job of being resilient by Frank Zombo. Not going to be the quickest off the line of scrimmage, but keeps his head up, recognizes where Prescott is, and makes the sack.
3rd and 15. Prescott connects with Des Bryant for 21. What a big play.
This was a huge backbreaker for the Chiefs. Des Bryant does an outstanding job finding the open window in the zone, and they make the pass and catch.
And here comes a killer. Prescott to Williams, who somehow stays inbound for 56.
This is what you can get when you have a mobile quarterback that can buy time, keeps his head downfield, and Terrence Williams comes through again with another big play.
That'll set up this touchdown. Prescott takes it in for a 14-3 lead. Now, with 2 seconds to go in the half, Dallas drops back in deep prevent defense. Time for one play. Smith to Hill, and look what happens.
Well, there's 7 Cowboys back here to just 4 guys for the Chiefs, and one of them has the ball in his hands. This is what you get when you have a phenomenal athlete, very elusive, very quick, very fast. He makes one person miss. Good blocking downfield by Demarcus Robinson opens up the gate for Tyreek Hill to go in for the score.
That improbable touchdown makes it a 14-10 Cowboy lead at intermission. And oh my goodness, what will that do to a team? You've been in these locker rooms over the years, these Chiefs locker rooms at halftime. What does a play like that going in do for a team?
Well, that's huge because, 1, it happens right before halftime. 2, things hadn't gone really well for the Chiefs consistently during the first half, and the game is about momentum, especially on the road in that type of environment. So to be able to go into the locker room with something positive happening like that was huge for the Chiefs.
And you said momentum. It's the big word here. The Chiefs are able to carry that momentum into their first possession of the second half. Kareem Hunt finally breaks loose for 19.
Nice job up front. The blocking got better in the third quarter. Obviously, coming out after halftime, we've seen this Chiefs team do a really nice job making adjustments at halftime. Good blocking up front got that opening for Kareem Hunt.
Smith to Kelce for 11 yards. Good run after catch there. Then Hunt's going to pound the rock for 6 more.
Look at the offensive lineman downfield. Bodies on bodies downfield. And then move the pocket a little bit. See a mismatch on the outside. Travis Kelce, too quick, too big.
A great drive and a better celebration.
This is the only race that Tyreek Hill will probably lose in his life.
The Chiefs respond with a the Cowboys are going to come back, though. This is a 12-play drive.
Terrible call here. I think everything was done right. Steven Nelson got his head around, a little bit of jostling downfield, but not warranting a flag. Tough break for the Chiefs.
And that seemed to get him going.
And Dak Prescott, what a gem he is. Smart quarterback, very mobile, understands what the defense is trying to present. Happy with just moving the chains and extending drives, opening up the door for Ezekiel Elliott to get that score.
That touchdown makes it 21-17 Dallas. After a Chiefs 3-and-out, here come the Cowboys again. Prescott to Beasley for 6. Then Prescott's going to connect with Dez for 16.
No pressure in the face of Dak Prescott all day long to be able to carve apart the Chiefs' defensive backfield. Very accurate thrower. The Cowboys receivers did a really nice job of yards after the catch. They made big play after big play.
This got hard to watch. 3rd and short. Dallas hands it to Elliott for 2 yards and a first down. And that sets up the score, which comes off this 7-yard pass to Beasley. Just like that, it's 28-17 Dallas with less than 9 minutes to go. The Chiefs need to respond. Smith to Kelce for 11. Then on 3rd and 5, Alex is going to be sacked for a loss of 3 yards, which sets up a 4th and 8. Smith over the middle, only to have it picked off.
First interception of the season. Can't blame Alex for trying to press the ball downfield, continue that drive, but it is an errant throw. I didn't like how the Chiefs really didn't go downfield as much. I wish they would have tried to take some chances downfield on the outside.
That's something we'll talk about as we move on. Alex Smith, good, not a great day. 25 of 34 for 263, 2 touchdowns, but that 1 interception. He also ran 5 times for 19 yards. Kareem Hunt, another tough day. He had 13 touches for just 61 yards. We'll talk about that, but a big day for Travis Kelce on the Chiefs side. And, of course, this Dallas offense is the real deal. I got to ask you, though, they did a pretty good job in stopping Ezekiel Elliott. He only averaged 3.4 yards a carry. He didn't win this game. It was the other guys who won this game.
Yeah, they did a nice job containing him. Obviously, the emphasis was to go in and stop number 21 because we knew what he could do, especially with a potent run game. But then they got a little lax on Dak Prescott, and he opened the door for that victory. But I'd say more so, no turnovers. We only sacked him twice, which happened in the second half, and we were 4 of 11 on 3rd down conversions. That's not a recipe for success.
Lots of questions coming out of this game, and the man with the answers is head coach Andy Reid. We'll talk to him one-on-one coming up on Chiefs Rewind.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Premier Mazda and Premier Volvo Cars, Overland Park. Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs. And by Community America Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
going to run a sprint out action. Alex Smith throws right side, caught, touchdown, Kansas City, as it's Travis Kelce. They flood to the right side on a 2-yard touchdown pass. And Alex Smith, the Chiefs in the half and begin the half on 2 Alex Smith touchdown passes.
Chiefs head coach Andy Reid was 6-0 against his former division, the NFC East, until tonight. The Chiefs, they fall 28-17 to the Dallas Cowboys. And Reid, his message in that locker room after this loss was now, as they go into the bye week, it's time to regroup, re-energize, and get ready for the second half of the season.
Coach, tough loss. It seemed like you had the chance to kind of seize the momentum there with the back-to-back scores, but just couldn't hold on.
We did. We kind of swung that a little bit, but they came back and got us. And, you know, we started slow on the offensive side. I thought defense started fast and offense started slow and initially. And you gotta get yourself, you gotta keep yourself on the field. And then they were able to create that. And then we came back a little bit that second half, and then they were able to regain it on us. So, and we weren't able to recapture it.
The Dallas front four, were they just fast? I mean, they seemed like they were just lightning fast to me.
Yeah, they're good players. Everything they do is up the field and towards the passer, you know, and then they rally to the run from there. A little different. We have a couple different schemes, so that's their deal. We got to do a better job there of handling all that.
Rushing differential of plus 70 yards. Would you attribute that just to the slow start in the first half?
Yeah, we weren't able to establish the run. We really weren't able to establish too much in that first bit. So, first couple series, that's my responsibility. I got to make sure that takes place, and it didn't.
I got to ask you, in 30 years, I don't think I've seen anything like the end of that first half, that deep middle screen you called. Can you tell me a little about that play?
Yeah, that's one we work on every week. You know, they gave up the middle of the field. I don't think you want to give Tyreek quite that much space. You know, he was able to take advantage of that. I thought our guys downfield blocked well.
What's the plan for the bye?
Yeah, we'll give the guys a little time off. You know, they need to step back. Coaches need to step back, go back, and we'll do our evaluation stuff. But the players need to get some rest and come back ready for the second half.
I know you can use the rest, but I know this is also a bitter taste for you guys. Tough couple of weeks. I know if anybody can fix it, it's you guys. Still lead the division, 6-3. Go get them.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. We'll do better.
Well, Danon, you heard the coach talk about going into this bye week. Is it happening at a good time for the Chiefs?
Perfect time. You have some issues with some injuries. You have some guys that need some extended rest. And more importantly, you have lost 3 of your last 4 games. So anytime you can have a bye week during this kind of turmoil, and I say turmoil just a little bit lighter than anybody kind of jumping off the boat, because the fact is this Chiefs team is still 6-3. They are still atop of the AFC West, but there's still some tightening of the screws and some tinkering that really needs to be done.
Well, when you lose in the fashion that the Chiefs did, there are not a lot of heroes, but one guy did put up some pretty big numbers, and I'm sure some fantasy players consider him a big winner today, and that is the DraftKings fantasy performer of the game, Travis Kelce. 7 catches, 73 yards, 1 touchdown. And Danon, for DraftKings purposes, that adds up to 20.3 points per game.
Well, he's helped me in 2 of my 3 leagues because he's on my team. But Travis Kelce, as we talked about earlier, specifically on this play, he is a human mismatch. Guys are too big. He's too big for opposing DBs. He's too fast for opposing linebackers. If you can get the ball in his vicinity, he has shown that he can make plays, and he did that again today, Neil.
DraftKings player of the game, Travis Kelce. It's brought to you by DraftKings.com. Head to DraftKings.com and use the promo code CHIEFS to play for free today. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk to a guy who plays a big role when the Chiefs go into passing mode. That's Charkandrick West. We'll go one-on-one with number 35 coming up next.
For Dak Prescott, steps up under pressure, Sambo's trailing and takes him to the ground rodeo style at the 12. It's calf roping and a -5 on the sack by Zombo. Frank Zombo gets his 2nd sack of the year. Well, we've got Skittles himself here. Henrik West. Good to have you back on the field, by the way.
I know, right?
Yeah, tough loss here. It was there. Had a chance to put these guys away and didn't. So just kind of walk us through offensively what happened and what didn't happen.
Like you said, we had a chance to put those guys away and didn't. I mean, we made a lot of simple mistakes. I mean, we didn't finish up on our details tonight, and those type of things in this type of game, playing a good team like that, it comes to bite you at the end. And so, I mean, we got this week off. We're going to take some time and kind of step away from it for a while and come back and get this thing together.
Yeah, so going into that bye week, just what was Coach Reid's message to you guys? You're 6-3. Everything you want to accomplish is still out in front of you. But what was his message to you guys going into this game?
He basically just told us get away from it for a while. I mean, it's time to step away, get back. I mean, go focus on your family and some other things. I mean, then we got a week off, and we're going to come back next week ready to get this thing back on track.
The drive, when things were working, though, you got Kelce rolling, even in that drive of the second half where you guys were in the hurry up until the pick. What about just going up against this defense and what it took to get it rolling?
Oh, like I said, man, Dallas is a great team. I mean, they get paid too. I mean, so we had to just come out. We didn't execute our game plan well enough today, and it's all on us. I mean, of course, Dallas is a good team, but I feel like if the Kansas City Chiefs played together, we're going to beat them.
Play I want to ask you about isn't the 57-yard touchdown from Tyreek. It's the play right before that. You take an 11-yarder on the sideline, you could cut that back inside and pick up another 15, 20 yards. Probably aren't going to score, but then the first half's over. What was your mindset going in that play? Did they tell you to step out of bounds, or is that something you knew you had to get out of bounds to save some time?
I kind of seen the situation. I knew I wasn't going to score from right there. I mean, so why not give us a chance? We practice those type of situations every day. I mean, I knew when the clock started, it was 9 seconds left, so I know I had a good 6 seconds to make something happen and try to give us a chance. I mean, when you got a guy like Tyreek on your team, you see what happened. I mean, that's a cheater.
It's a cheater. We see you practice it in St. Joe or in Kansas City. Didn't think it was really going to work at work. Well, I'm going to ask you about the running game. Final question. To get the running game going again, because now they've kept Kareem down the last 2 weeks. You haven't had the chunk runs. To get the run game going, what has to happen?
Like I said, I'll come back to what Coach Reid said. It's time for us to step away, figure out what's not working, what was working in those first 5-6 weeks. Let's go back to doing what we was doing. I mean, let's come back to playing together and not playing as individuals. I mean, we play as a team, we hard to beat. I mean, we all know that.
Well, he brings up a very important point. The last couple of weeks have been very, very different for Kareem Hunt. After opening his career with 7 straight games of over 100 yards from scrimmage, which tied an NFL record, the last 2 weeks, this week he has 13 touches, 61 yards. Last week, 25 touches for 68 yards against that great Denver defense. What do you see defenses doing? Has this been what the Chiefs aren't doing up front, or is this what the defenses are doing?
I think it's a combination, Neil. It's a great point because one thing you also have to know is after those first 5 weeks when he tied Eric Dickerson for all those yardage and in the consistent fashion that he did, what you have out there is film. And other teams now have a host of film to be able to watch and game plan and specifically target on what they're going to do against number 27. And it has worked. We've played some solid defenses with the Steelers and obviously with the Denver Broncos. This defense, not so much. I thought we got away from the run game a little bit too early in the second half, but you can expect, especially during a bye week with the extended amount of time, self-scouting goes into play. That's when everybody comes together, all the minds come together, and they start figuring things out, just like Chuck Hendrick said.
Absolutely right. When you were going back to Iowa on your off week or New Jersey while everybody else was going to the Bahamas, your coaches were staying in Kansas City and looking a lot at film. You know Andy Reid, the way he is with his offensive mind, he's going to come up with new and unique ways to get Kareem Hunt the football in a position where he can do some damage. When Rewind returns, we're going to take you inside the Chiefs locker room to hear what the players say about this loss.
Kansas City has only beat Dallas in Dallas once, and that doesn't change after tonight, after the Chiefs fall to them 28-17. They're now 6-3 on the season, and the Cowboys just knew what they had to do in this game. They controlled the time of possession towards the end of this game, and the defense made key stops against an offense that led the league in points in the fourth quarter. This Chiefs offense just couldn't find ways to score in that fourth quarter, and Alex Smith, he threw his first interception of the season. What do you feel like you guys can take from this game? What are some of the things that you really need to improve upon?
We need to stop the run. I mean, it's pretty simple. Anytime you play a team, you need to stop the run and make them one-dimensional and force them just to throw the ball. When they can do both, it's tough to beat any offense in the NFL.
You got to get off the field on third down. I mean, it's just third down was a big key in winning or losing for us. But at the end of the day, we need to regroup. Still in great position, luckily, fortunately, I should say. But this is National Football League, so you never get surprised, and you just got to get better, man. You just got to get better. And I'm talking defensively. Just got to get better.
You guys have the bye. How do you approach that mentally? Is it something where you guys can use it to get better? Is it something that you sit on and kind of sulk on this game?
Well, you got to have a short-term memory in this league. You want to get better at the same time. You want losses to fuel you and energize you for the next game. Too bad, we don't have a game until another couple weeks. But this is our 9th game, and this is our first bye week. So we'll definitely heal our wounds and get back to work. But we got a tough team, so the only way to show that is when we get back out there on Sundays.
I have to get your reaction on the Tyreek Hill touchdown and the excellent block to set that up at the end of the half. Take me through that. Did you know that you were going to be able to get a block like that and set that up?
Yeah, we go through over that play like every Friday. It's like one of the end of the halves and end of the game type plays. So, I mean, you always go over that play, and you always want to be the guy that your guy don't make the play. So you got to make sure your guy don't make the play, and I was trying to not let either one of the guys make the play.
Did you think that you guys were going to be able to convert that?
Yeah, I got a lot of confidence in all of our guys, so especially Tyreek. So, I mean, yeah, I was pretty confident.
Yeah, that was quite a play, wasn't it? I mean, there's no way around it. That's an unbelievable play. They brought up something, and I thought was interesting, and that's third down stops. The Chiefs, offensively, were 0 for 5 to start the game on third down. They got better after that and ended up 4 and 11 on third down. But Dallas was really good. They were 7 of 12 on third down conversions. That's a negative. I'll give you a positive, though. Ezekiel Elliott, who is just an unbelievable player, and let's take a look at some of these plays, these third down turnovers for them.
Well, this is a situation where you're not getting much pressure in the face of Dak Prescott. We mentioned it earlier. He had a lot of time in the pocket, and when he didn't have a lot of time, he had the open area to escape from that pocket as well. This is what we knew we were going into. Make no mistake about it. They have great players with Dak and Dez, and now Terrence Williams burst upon the scene with over 100 yards receiving just in the first half alone. Jason Witten had a little bit of a quiet day, but he extended a drive with a catch early in the game also. They have some weapons, but if you let them remain on the field for an extended amount of time, like you said, 7 of 12 in third down conversions, makes it extremely tough, especially on their home turf, to come away successful.
All week, we in the media here in Kansas City talked about the Chiefs' inability to stop the run this season and just how desperate they were going to be to stop Ezekiel Elliott. They got it done. They held him to just 4 yards per carry. He didn't even get 100 yards, even though he ran it 27 times.
One of the things I did see about this Chiefs team, I saw a lot of rally tackling. You're seeing twists up front. Ragland was really active. The linebackers were really active, more active than I had seen them as of late, Neil, especially against the run. A lot of red helmets around the ball. But the other factor is, at times, we did see Ezekiel Elliott break tackles. And basically yards after contact got a little bit more positive yards that would have been more comfortable for us. So it was a little bit of give and take, but when you're going against one of the best, if not the best running back in the NFL, and you knew that you were going to have a lot of opportunities to have to hit him and stop the run, the Chiefs did it in a very solid fashion today. So I guess if you're taking away some things from this game, that's a huge positive.
When you look at this defense, the last couple of games, maybe a month now, they've had a hard time getting pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah. And that's a big issue. And obviously, we don't know if Justin Houston is full speed. Frank Zombo's out there, not really going to be a threat, although he did a very nice job on this sack, just one of the 2 sacks on the day. But we haven't seen Chris Jones be very active, and we just need to see more consistency with that. This is a passing league with some very athletic quarterbacks. We have one of them. And what has thwarted our offense mostly has been pressure on Alex Smith. So we have to, in turn, kind of change that around and do a better job against opposing quarterbacks.
We've heard the coaches tell the players, okay, get away from football. You've been there. How much improvement can you make during a bye week? Is it just by getting healthy?
Yeah, I think it is. This is a prime opportunity for the Chiefs to have the bye week. And I say that because you have gone through 9 games. Now you're down the home stretch, and you actually get the benefit of having basically almost 2 weeks off between your last extended break was just last week and now this extended break before the bye. It's essential that the guys that are on the shelf get healthy. Can't make the club in the tub. We always say it. You can't make the playoffs or a Super Bowl run in the tub. Get guys healthy, get the self-scouting done, and create some game plans that's going to allow the Chiefs to finish strong.
All right, let's get real here, all right? 5 years from now, I won't remember, you won't remember, none of us are going to remember who won the game or what the score was. But I promise you, all of us will remember the play made at the end of the first half by Tyreek Hill. When we come back on Rewind, we're going to go one-on-one with the quickest, most exciting football player in the entire country.
It's Tyreek Hill. He's at the 30 of the Cowboys, 25, running out of blockers. He's at the 20. Hill's inside the 15 to the 10. 5, touchdown! Kansas City! An incredible play! And the Chiefs get an improbable touchdown.
Chiefs lose to Dallas 28-17, but Tyreek Hill with this. Offensively, it was kind of in spurts. But what about maybe the lack of consistency on offense?
We just came out, and I guess everybody didn't come out with their fuel just like they needed. So we just got to come back prepared, ready mentally and physically.
Coach talked about the play going into the end of the half. You guys practiced that. Just what's going through your mind with 2 seconds left? You got to go 57 yards. You know you're going to have some guys in front of you. What's going through your mind on that last play of the first half?
Just make a play, man. I'm always that guy. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make the big play for the team. So, I mean, Demarcus Robinson, man, like he had a tremendous block on 2 guys. One guy blocked 2 guys. So, you know what I'm saying? All hats off to him. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to use my speed and get in the end zone.
And what about getting 14 unanswered? You guys backed that up. The first play of the drive of the second half. What was working when it was working?
You know what I'm saying? We had scored going into half, and when we had came back out, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was ready. Everybody was fueled, and the juices was going. So, I mean, we just gotta continue to work, like I said. So. That's it.
The potato sack race, just where did that start? Who came up with that idea? How did it all come about?
Actually, Albert came up with a 12 gauge, but he wasn't here to do it with us. It was a good idea, though, right? It was funny. It was good.
You've been in the league long enough now. How do you guys use the bye and you rally these guys to get into a flurry in these next 7 games?
Well, I use the bye. I'm going to the Bahamas. You know what I'm saying? Me and my lady, man, we're going to the Bahamas, and we're going to have a good time. But you know what I'm saying? Coach Reid, he just basically said, just get away from football. You know what I'm saying? Clear your mind, clear your heads, you know what I'm saying? And just relax, you know what I'm saying? And just come back, and everybody be ready to work all out. Last goal, baby.
Last question. You guys are 6-3 going to the bye. How do you guys maintain that confidence that everything you guys want to achieve is still out in front of you?
We just think about all the hard work, you know what I'm saying, that we done put in, you know what I'm saying, from training camp, from OTAs, from starting from last year. So we just got to come back and, like I said, just continue to do the little things and just trust the process, and we'll be all right.
It goes into the books as a 57-yard touchdown pass, but it wasn't the kind of deep pass that this team used as their hallmark. It seemed like every week, the first couple of weeks of this season, maybe 5 or 6 weeks, Alex Smith was connecting on deep balls like this one right here. Yeah, but this is a miss. This was from last week. They missed last week on an open pass. They missed another one today.
Yeah, I'd say that this is one of the things that can get shored up during the bye week. You can actually get an opportunity to digest what you're doing, maybe his footwork, his accuracy down the sideline, the receivers not allowing him an easy throw. That's a very tough throw to make for Alex Smith. It's a win by the DB, whether he catches it inbounds or not, because he squeezed the field down and forced the quarterback to throw it in a 1-foot box as opposed to a 4-yard box like you'd like to have.
Is this changing the scheme, or is this coaching up a player at quarterback and some players at wide receiver to make this thing click.
This is about the fine details, and you don't have time week in and week out, game in and game out, where you have to provide a game plan and study the game plan, throw away the old game plan, and come up with the new, getting ready for short weeks, Thursday night games, Sunday night games, etc. Now you have extended time to go back and say, hey, remember how you used to run that go route in training camp and was successful in the opening 5 games of the season? You started to slack off in your technique. Close down your splits a little bit to the numbers. Don't allow the defensive back to push you outside so far. Alex Smith, step into your throws. Trust your blocking up front. Find those windows to throw the ball downfield. And more importantly, like you and I talked about, take some more chances downfield. They have to do that. This is an offense-driven league where the defense really is behind the 8 ball just about every pass play. Take some chances downfield so your receivers realize that you trust them to avoid an interception. That's the worst thing that can happen is an interception downfield. A deflected pass can be a win for the Chiefs and stretch the defense and open up the door where, guess what? Kareem Hunt can do some things underneath.
You said something. You said step into his throws. That's easy to do when you have a clean pocket. Yeah. It hasn't been very clean for Alex Smith the last 4 or 5 weeks, and with good reason, because they've had so many starters out on the offensive line.
Yeah, now they're starting to get those offensive linemen back, and LDT was in there. Mitch Morse was back in there. Now you can go and kind of get back to what you did right early in the season, and that's what I expect they'll do. Even though the players won't be around and they may go to the Bahamas or wherever else, the coaches, the scouting department will be here. Players will look on their iPads, et cetera, and watch the film, and they'll tighten up what's necessary in order to make that playoff and championship run.
Well, this all goes back to the quarterback, and we're going to hear from Alex Smith when Chiefs Rewind returns.
I thought our defense really started the game well. Our offense didn't. That's my responsibility to make sure that takes place, really both sides, and but that in particular there. We weren't able to sustain early and keep our defense off the field whatsoever, really the first half. And, you know, my hat goes off to Dallas and the job that they did. Now we got to go back and figure some things out here and do a better job, obviously. Third downs, I thought as the game went on, third downs either side, offensively and defensively, were not good. We had some penalties on offense that we normally don't have. We got to get to the bottom of that. And, you know, you're having things going your way and then you're taking steps back. You can't do that either. So we've all got a piece of it, but it definitely starts with me on this. And you know, there were a couple of good things in there. Tyreek did a nice job with the return before, or with the catch before half, and with the middle screen, and you know, so there were some good things amongst it. But we didn't have a lot of energy, and we're going to take a step back here and get some rest during this bye week, and kind of regain our thoughts and evaluate ourselves and go forward. So time's yours on that.
It's tough. I mean, short week. We've had a couple of these short weeks on the road against a really good football team. I mean, and those are there. Like I said, those are. But I mean, kind of excuses. Everybody has to deal with those things. It was a good football team that I felt like we were right back in it when we came out in the third quarter. God, and you know, and just a couple of those possessions go differently. You know, that it could be a different ball game. Certainly, they made the plays though there, and a third, early fourth quarter that got the game into 2 scores, and we weren't able to. So. Yeah, you know, it's easy to look back and, you know, when we started as slow as we did in the first quarter, to say we didn't have energy. It's hard to feel it, though, all week. You know, I felt good about it. I felt like we had a good plan, and we're ready for it. Every week it's different. The opposing defense presents different strengths, both from, like, personnel, right, their personnel and scheme. So it's different. I mean, and every week you got to find a way. We got to beat these guys at their scheme and their players. And they got strengths and weaknesses, and you got to try to figure it out, right? And you got to try to, I think, and then you got to go out there and do it. And that's kind of the deal. So it's such a week-to-week battle. But I think this is a week to, you know, with the bye, to kind of evaluate that. Like you're saying, I think to go back and evaluate why some weeks, we seem to roll, and then we've had a few here where we've struggled early.
Well, the Chiefs now have a bye, but before we get to how they spend the bye, I got to ask you about the core stats. We talk about them every day on Chiefs.com. And what about the Chiefs' grade in the core stats in this game on both sides of the ball?
Mitch, 3 stats we talk about every week. Turnovers in this game. Cowboys didn't turn it over. Now they're 4-0 in the season when they don't turn the ball over. Chiefs turned it over once. Granted, it was the Alex Smith 4th down pass where he had to deliver it, had to try to make a play. So it's one thing. But Dallas didn't turn the ball over. It ended up being a difference. 3rd down. The Cowboys are better on both sides of the ball. Chiefs really struggled offensively. It was around 30%, and the Cowboys converted 58% of their 3rd downs. And then finally, red zone efficiency. Cowboys, 4 trips inside the red zone, 4 touchdowns. That's a good recipe to win a football game.
It is time for the bye week. Now, there's 2 discussions every day in the Chiefs' kingdom. Win the division. You're still in command and control of that.
Yep.
But there's always the daily discussion about getting the seeding for the tournament week by week. Looking at the 7 weeks after the bye, what are you thinking about the Chiefs?
You still feel like they're in a good spot, and everybody's looking at the schedules of what's coming up, and what the Pittsburgh Steelers have, and what the Patriots schedule looks like. If there's anything we've learned this year, with so many stars going down with season-ending injuries, you have no idea what the schedule is going to look like, what happens week to week. Chiefs are still in a good position. They've got a 2-game lead in the division. That's what matters right now.
You still bullet 1 frame at a time, my friend, and the Chiefs have a chance to go to the snack bar with the bye week. I'm Mitch Holthus. He's BJ Kissel. The Chiefs lose by 11 here in Dallas.
The Chiefs fall to 6-3 on the season. They go into the bye week, and the bye week today is the players can go off. They probably leave from Dallas, can go anywhere in the world they want for about a week. What did you guys do?
Well, we didn't have that luxury, Neil. You and I talked about it. Neil, when Marty Schottenheimer was here, he would, during the bye week, we would have 2 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on, 2 days off, because he did not want us to go off to the Bahamas or to Jamaica or to any other kind of resort or kind of place like that. He wanted to have control of us during the season, and he won that battle at that time. That's why things have changed now with the CBA, where they have to have a string of days open. The coaches can't manipulate it like they used to.
Listen, when they get on the beach, I guarantee the players are going to be talking about 2 things from this game. The play by Tyreek Hill and that great blocking that they had for the touchdown right before the half. And then it's got to be the celebration of that. I've never seen anything like this. Here's the touchdown, but it's the celebration that's so great.
Yeah, this is awesome, the celebration. Very creative. I love the fact that Tyreek Hill, as competitive as he is, he gave up for his winner, the touchdown maker, Travis Kelce. So you got to love how they all coordinated together. 4 of them got in the race, and they did their deed.
Here's a look at the upcoming schedule. They have this week off, but then they take on a New York Giants team that as of right now stands 1-7, and then they get back into it against a couple of teams that are really playing well, and then the Raiders we know about. I'm going to ask you something. For 4 straight weeks now, the Chiefs have played teams that were all but desperate. You had the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off an embarrassing loss at home. They needed to win. You had Oakland coming off a tough couple of losses. They had to win at home. Denver, desperate for a victory at Arrowhead Stadium last week. They couldn't get it. And then Dallas, desperate to try to keep up with the Eagles, who have the best record in the entire NFL. These kind of teams play desperate, and as you know in the NFL, that changes the way the game's played.
Well, it changes it immensely, and let's face it, when this schedule came out in May, you looked at the schedule, you knew the beginning of the season was important because you want to get off to a fast start. But if you're looking at a clunk of games where teams were, it was necessary for you to come out strong, this was it. This 5-game stretch was probably the most important, the toughest part of the Chiefs' schedule. They went 4-0 in the first quarter, 2-2 in the second quarter of the season, and now they're 0-1 in the third quarter of the season. So they have to get things righted. So this bye week comes at a perfect time where they can change things around.
They get a week off, we get a week off, but we hope we're back in about 2 weeks with another big Chiefs victory. Thanks so much for watching Chiefs Rewind, presented by Community America Credit Union.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Premier Mazda and Premier Volvo Cars, Overland Park. Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs. And by Community America Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.